Hello and welcome back to the Think to Achieve podcast. It is smack in the middle of summer and man, it is hot. If you can see from my background, if you're viewing from YouTube, you can kind of see the different you can see the different background, difference in where the location is. That's because I'm visiting my parents' place out in the country in the mountains. So it's a very Japanese room that I'm recording this in Hawaii. But today I wanted to talk to you about the concept of resistance and how resistance really is going to be there to pull you back down if you've started or try to get you to, stop or quit even. Really, these circumstances that just seem to happen in life when you're really trying to break out from your old mold of doing things to really get into that new, to unlock your full potential, to break down those fear barriers and really achieve things that you truly want. Because if you follow this podcast for any length of time or this show, you know that I am a coach for the Think to Achieve program, which is based on the Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. And I have seen it come into my life. And I really believe that anyone, no matter what circumstance or situation you are in life, you can achieve whatever it is that you truly want and desire. And if you back it up with firm belief, anything. Now, of course, it's not just about thinking and believing it's going to happen. It's got to take it's got to be a lot of effort and work as well. But today I'm going to talk about the concept of resistance and really what it means and how it manifests itself in your life. Now, for example, and this is something again I will always use my personal life story to kind of point out the key things I'm trying to make here. Is when I first started, the first thing that happened was just a lot of work suddenly just came up out of nowhere, right? Just at my company that I used to work for. And man, because I try to do things like this podcast and things on the side as a side hustle during my off hours, like late in the evening or very early in the morning when I wasn't working or during the weekend. But man, when I just made that decision to start, I made a decision in my mind. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to launch this podcast. I want to share my message. I want to help people do and achieve whatever it is that they want. Once I made that decision, things started to happen. And that was projects at work. Suddenly this happened. There's issues that came up that needed my full attention, that required me to stay up late or work during the weekends. All of these things combined and really just start to throw that monkey wrench into that my plan, right? Before I even got it off to start. Now, that is what I call resistance. Or even a lot of times, of course, it's that personal feeling of, you may have made that decision and you make the choice and you go on your first day and you're all inspired and you create some content or you make progress or you do something. But perhaps on the second day, there's that feeling of just uninspiredness, and then you suddenly get overwhelmed by all the things that you have yet to do or the lack of results from what you've done so far. All of these things, I know I get it quite often. For the most part, I'm actually quite a very upbeat person. I'm really inspired by the future, and I'm very much an optimistic individual. Just generally, I'm that type of person. However, I know sometimes, and actually recently, I've been facing the fact that sometimes, the results aren't they don't come as fast as we want. I'm putting in the effort. I created these programs. I'm doing the marketing and learning about social media, etc., to kind of generate new leads and generate new clients for my coaching or for my online courses that I developed, etc. But the results aren't there, right? And you get that discouragement. It's typical. And, that's really what I'm talking about when it comes to resistance. Anything that's kind of gets in your way, right? That resistance that comes in front of you discourages you and really tempts you to quit, to be honest. I've entertained thoughts of, man, it's not going to work out. Maybe I should just give up, right? And I've honestly felt this, and I usually am not that type of person, but when you don't get the results you want or just things happen, sometimes these things will pop in your mind. But then when you really understand that is resistance, it is resistance that's coming your way. And you get these feelings, you get these thoughts, you get these circumstances that happen in your life because I believe you're on the right track. If you're doing something different, if you're doing something worthwhile, resistance is that sure sign that you're heading the right direction because your brain, your mind is not used to any of these things, right? Your mind itself, your brain is hardwired to just survive, right? It's from the caveman lizard brain, so to speak, where you're just trying to look out for yourself. You're trying to just put food on the table, try to not get eaten by the saber-tooth tigers or the T-Rexes out there, right? That 2 million-year-old lizard brain of ours. But the thing is now, in this day and age, you don't really need to worry about those things a lot of the times, right? It's more about now being able to create, to do something amazing, to create your life's work. And that's that part of the brain that needs to be awakened. And it's inside there, of course. That's the reason why the humanity has made such tremendous progress in the last few hundred years, right? Things like the internet or your device that you're viewing this on or listening to this podcast, whatever it is. Going back thousands of years, right? We've managed to create fire. We made cities. We made monuments and these buildings and temples and castles and all these things that man has been able to make. And that's because of that innate desire to create. And that is always there. It's always like kind of, again, innate. It's that seedling that every single human being is born with. And when we can really focus on that, instead of that fear, instead of the resistance, instead of our survival instinct, instead of survival, we really think about the abundance that we have available at our fingertips, more so today than any other time throughout history. So this is what I'm really trying to get to, is that when you face these obstacles, when you face that discouragement, that uninspired days or weeks perhaps, it's really just that resistance. You're on the right path. You're developing this new you, and they're growing pains, right? It's going to take a while for you to get used to it, but hold on. Don't give up. Keep moving forward. Even when you feel down, when you feel like you're giving up, you just need to remind yourself you are feeling that way because it is new. You are growing. And that's the best part of doing something new, launching your own business, being an entrepreneur, or perhaps being an entrepreneur at your own company, right? At the company you work for, that you're an employee of. You're taking that step. You're speaking up. You're pitching a new idea and something you haven't really done or you don't have much experience in. And you're going out, you're stretching. It's that goal that you have that's going to really enable you to grow and learn and develop. And that's what it's all about. Whether you're in-house as an employee or doing your own thing as an entrepreneur, it's all about growth. And it's all about learning and becoming that person that you're really capable of. Again, no one really knows the full potential of human capabilities, our potential. No one has reached it yet. I don't think we ever will. But it's about learning. It's about growing, and it's about making progress towards that ideal, whatever it is you have for your life. So when you have that ideal, when you have that goal, and you make that decision to go on, carry through, and take a step out of that comfort zone, and you get faced with that resistance, it might be there for the rest of your life. I don't see it change. I've been on this road now for a few months now, and it's still in front of me, those feelings. And once I get over this, once I get my first clients and get my business up and running, I'm sure there's going to be other resistance as I continue to grow and stretch and develop into a better version of me, or to be that person that I'm fully capable of becoming. And that is the same for you. So don't despair, right? Repetition decreases resistance. The more you do it, the more uncomfortable action you take, the more, those actions kind of affirm, cement that belief in yourself, you will be fine. You're going to make it, okay? And you will, of course, fail. You'll make mistakes along the way. That's completely normal. Don't be afraid about that. Don't be discouraged. And when you do get discouraged, it's all right. Just take it one day at a time. Make small step of progress every single day, and you will get that much closer to your goal. It's all it is. Taking small progress, one small step, one day at a time. That's it. And yeah, you'll face resistance. We'll face discouragements. We're going to face a lot of shit. That's what life is. It's difficult. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be successful. But everyone can be successful if you can manage to break through that resistance, if you can keep going despite those difficult times. And again, believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your dreams, believe in the goal. And I highly suggest, and this is something I teach in my coaching program based on the Think and Grow Rich, as well as based on the Bob Proctor, Proctor Gallagher Institute programs that they have, that they've used to help entire organizations, from massive international global tech firms to insurance companies, completely change their salespeople around and kind of completely change the trajectory of the company. this is what I teach. And what's really important is just write down that goal, the person you want to become, that goal you want to achieve, right? Write it down as if you've already achieved it. And every single day, take time, take 10, 20 minutes. I do it when I wake up and I do it before I go to sleep. Just visualize yourself, read it out loud, and visualize yourself as that person. And really take time to be mindful or meditate on that. And just do that every single day. Eventually, again, your mind is gonna start to believe in that, because you're just feeling it, you're visualizing, you're really putting it into belief. For those moments, you're just focusing on that, concentrating on those goals that you have, and you're really seeing yourself as that person. Eventually, that's going to change your behavior. It's going to change your attitude. And again, that's going to help you take the action you need to achieve whatever it is that you want in life. So again, thank you so much for listening and taking your time to view or listen. Again, if it's a podcast, I hope you have a great week ahead. Again, don't be too afraid. Don't be disappointed when you get faced with resistance. It is part of nature, I guess, in a way, right? You're doing something new. You're doing something worthwhile. If it was all so easy and all comfortable, you're probably not doing something that is really meant for you to grow and develop to the person you are meant to be. So when resistance rears its ugly head, that mountain looms in front of you, take time to focus on what you want. And take the steps in front of you. Again, you don't need to conquer the mountain in one day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Focus again. Sometimes that looming obstacle might seem huge, and it might be that giant monster, giant that is impossible to beat. But just focus on the small steps you can take today. Right? You don't need to worry about everything. You don't even need to worry about tomorrow. Make sure, of course, you have a goal, you have a plan, but then you break that down into bite-sized chunks, really, and see what action it is you need to take today. And within the today, what action is what you need to take in the hour. Whatever it is, just do that. That is something you can do, and just make progress. Sometimes it helps me to just not to really focus so much on the end goals. Now, I do this during my meditation moments, but when it's actually time to take action, I'm just going to focus on that action. Because if I think about all the things I need to do, or even things I don't know, or what's needed, or even, oh my God, I didn't even know what steps to take to achieve this a lot of the times, or those later stages, it can be overwhelming and discouraging. So just focus on what you can do today and take action. And then you realize that resistance will slowly but surely dissipate. Because, again, repetition decreases resistance. So take action every day. When he rears his ugly head, just know you're on the right path. If you face that, if you feel that, if you see the obstacles coming up in your life or in your mind, know that it's because you're doing something great. Just keep moving forward, and of course, do what you can to adjust when necessary, but most important, take the action, and of course, believe in yourself.